Hey guys, welcome to the video. In this video, the wife and I are going to be taking the Baja Bug for a test drive. Basically the same gravel roads that we did the test drive with the air-cooled motor. However, this time we're doing it with the Ecotec to feel the difference between the two. Putzing it around, doing some takeoffs, some turns. I'm not doing anything crazy because the chassis is not really done. You know, not everything is solid welded. Now, I did earlier in the week apply for insurance, and I also registered the vehicle. So this time we're actually completely legal on the road to an extent, I guess. I registered as an antique vehicle because that gets me out of emissions. However, at the same time I did that, the lady behind the counter at the DMV told me that because it's older than 35 years or whatever the cutoff years in Colorado, I wouldn't have had to do emissions either way. So now I've got temp tags, and we're out doing some test drives and some takeoffs and just kind of filling it out without beating on it too much. So I'm gonna, as we're doing this, I'm gonna move the cameras around to a couple of different spaces and just try and get some different camera footage because that is fun. And we're going to see how the power feels. All right, ready? Okay. So far everything we've done really is gravel roads, so we're going to do a little stint on a paved road here just to see how it's used. I did some cruising at about 40-45 miles an hour down some asphalt. It actually I thought it would be revving really high and really loud at that speed. And I don't know exactly what the RPMs are because I don't have a tachometer on here yet, but it actually wasn't as high as I thought, and it wasn't as loud as I thought, because kind of once you get to speed and then you back off the throttle, you know, it's kind of loud when you're on the throttle, but when you back off, it's really not all that loud. Plus, that exhaust that I have on there is not long term anyways. But either way, it wasn't bad. And the cruising isn't bad. However, there's a wobble in the front that I'm going to need to look into, just because it's unnerving. That was a really good test drive. Obviously, the Ecotec has, I mean, it has a lot of power compared to what my air-cooled motor had. That's not me putting down air-cooled, because I didn't build my air-cool. It was a stock 1600 dual port that was probably in need of a rebuild. All I did was clean it up, repair a couple of things on it, but I don't know what the compression was or anything like that. So it's not I'm not saying that this thing annihilates air-cooled motors, but what I am saying is, in my scenario, my air-cooled was very underpowered. This motor has lots of power compared to that air-cooled. I mean, it doesn't have screaming power, but when you step on it, it goes and it revs up really quite high. One thing that's really surprising about it is it has a lot of low-end torque. You know, when you engage the clutch, it really takes a lot. As a matter of fact, I've never stalled it yet, and I've let the clutch out pretty aggressively on some takeoffs and whatnot, and it just seems to eat up the low-end torque, which is really helpful. With my gearing, I do have a bus Type 2 with the, I think it's 537 gears. So first gear is, I'm going to call that a granny gear. Some of the takeoffs that I did here, I can take off in second gear without any problem. And these are 33-inch tires. If you take off in second gear, you know, it takes a little bit of feathering to get it going, but not too much, because like I said, this can take quite a bit of low-end torque. In a desert situation where you were doing more high-speed stuff, I don't know how good of an option this Type 2 would be, because first gear would pretty much be useless for a situation like that. For me, and once this bug's up and ripping and roaring more, I'll do a better comparison on the Type 2 transaxle. But for me, up in the trails, I'm going to be doing some stuff where I'm going uphill really slow, and the first gear will be actually really beneficial for me in that scenario. I was able to cruise at 40 to 45 miles an hour. It actually cruises really well, except like I said earlier, the front gets really shimmy, and I definitely need to figure that out, whether I need to get truer wheels or well, I'm going to balance them either way, but I'll look into that and see what I need to do, because I can't be going down the road and having the steering wheel banging back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. That just won't be safe. Lots of creaks and crunches through the suspension. I have not greased the bushings on any of my suspension yet, because this isn't really a final assembly. So right now everything's dry. So when the suspension travels, it's really pretty loud. And I did notice on the tail end here, we went to a dirt road on the other side of the neighborhood that's got more bumps and whatnot. It's much bumpier with some ruts. And there was a clunk coming from back here. I don't know if it was the body or the fuel cell or something, but there was, or the suspension, but there was a clunk that prevented me from really just continuing at, you know, at a higher rate of speed over these bumps. So I definitely need to look into that. And another thing that I'm going to do, because this was a pretty good, like I think we did about 20 miles in this test drive. So one thing that I'm going to do now, because I still have more work to do before I actually do a final teardown for paint. Like I'm going to do more on the roll bar, and I'm going to finish the engine cage and whatnot. I am going to bring it in, and I'm going to take the tires off and do a really good inspection of both the front and the rear suspension and see if it looks like anything is bending or cracking or anything like that, now that I've got some mileage on her, just to play it safe, because I want to, you know, since most of this suspension is, I built it from scratch, and I tried not to overbuild it by making like my spindles super duper thick. You know, I was trying to keep a good level of performance by not going overkill on that stuff. Well, that's fine, but when you do that, you also have to make sure that you didn't go too thin and that things are failing. So I will do a little tear down and inspect some of that stuff and check bolts and see if I can find out what was kind of clanging and banging. One thing about the Ecotec that's really nice is whatever you're doing, because it's all computer controlled, it just kind of controls itself. It controls its own idle. It you know, if you're decelerating, you can hear it kind of, it'll go down, but then it'll pick itself back up. And once you get used to that, it's a little bit unnerving at first, because you'll hear it, you know, you push in the clutch and you'll hear it drop, and you kind of think that it died. A couple times I thought maybe I was running out of fuel, but it picks itself back up because it's monitoring all that stuff, and it's trying to stay at a low RPM, and it just, once you get used to that, you don't really have to worry about it, because it's monitoring everything, and it's just kind of taking care of business. Now I'm sure if something fails and you start to lose a sensor, that probably becomes hell, because you don't really know what it's doing. But all in all, that aspect of it is really nice, because it takes care of all that for you. So that's it for the video. It was a lot of fun. The vehicle right now is very rattle canny, because none of the aluminum paneling I have in here yet is insulated or carpeting. So when I'm barreling down these gravel roads, you know, as gravel's hitting it and gravel is hitting it, it's pinging and tinging, and it's very loud and oil canny. And then the suspension right now is pretty loud. So it's a handful. The suspension is very soft. I definitely need to tighten up the suspension. And the turning brake, this is my first vehicle with a rear mounted engine, and it's my first vehicle with a turning brake. I gotta say, that is so much fun. It turns okay on its own. It doesn't have a real tight turning radius. If you've got a little bit of speed, like 5 to 10 miles an hour, you turn the wheel. If you pull the inside brake up, not even very hard and not locking it up, it pretty much just pivots. I mean, I would not have expected that it cuts that hard. So initially I was a little worried that the turning radius is not really that tight, but what I've noticed is if you have a little bit of speed, turn it, and then just pull that cutting brake a little bit, it really digs in, and it really like tightens how tightly. And as a matter of fact, in the loose gravel back here, it was almost pivoting on itself. I could almost do a U-turn, and I probably can once I get a little bit more experience with it and pull that a little bit harder. If you just turn it a little bit and pull that inside cutting brake, it really comes around, which is really cool. That's a lot of fun. Anyways, guys, thanks for going along with the wife and I on this test drive, joyride, whatever you want to call it. It was so much fun. Could have been a little bit warmer outside. It's about 40 degrees, but I gave the wife a blanket, and she was pretty good. The Ecotec ran well. I'm real happy with it. Now let's move forward with finishing up the roll cage, figuring out what I'm going to do with the fuel system, finalize all that stuff so that I can start tearing it apart for paint, and then do the final assembly. And then once that's done, we can I can really start kind of beating on it and testing it out. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you liked it. I hope you had fun with us. I hope I got some good camera angles that'll show some good stuff. And I hope to see you on the next video. Take care. Suspicious vehicle hot rodding over on the hidden mesa.